But specifically, I would like to thank Les, Kevin, and Tony for believing in me and giving me this opportunity to represent our organization for this game. It's different when just one person as a head coach believes in you, but collectively as an organization, in order to give you this opportunity, it does not sit very lightly for me. And I want to thank this organization for believing in me. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
And do you mind repeating your question?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
What was the experience like for you being the head coach today?
You envision what it's going to be like if this is ever your aspiration or ever one of your goals. It was a very, very good feeling to know that we were able to fire off, be kind of aggressive and assertive on all three phases. There were things that we talked about in the pregame that we wanted this to look like. We wanted to feel, and we wanted to feel with the energy, and that's what I wanted to give them as well, giving it back to me. And it was a great experience. You can't underestimate what it means to be a head coach, to talk to the refs, to understand the rules, to walk up and down the sideline, when to use your challenge flag, which plays are reviewable, which plays are not, which plays are challengeable, which plays are not. And those are some of the things that I try to prep myself for the last week or so, and I think it really helped me very much for today.
Aubrey, we see you at practice every day, and you're always so locked in with your guys and the DBs and working with the defense overall in general. But what was it like for you to pull from previous experiences coaching on both sides of the ball to really have a holistic view of what this was for you today?
Yeah, well, thank you for asking that. I appreciate you bringing that up. In my career, I've spent 2 years on offense. My first year, I actually worked with the offensive line and worked with the running backs. The next time I got an opportunity to work on the offensive side of the ball, I worked with the quarterbacks. And that experience is second to none anytime you sit in that head seat. And after being here today, I totally get and understand why owners who are looking for new head coaches would love people that have an offensive perspective. One, because your quarterback touches the ball every snap, right? And you want to be able to communicate with them. And you want to be able to communicate with them in a way that's not only emotionally productive, but also educationally. What is something that you can take from this? And those two experiences definitely helped me today, not only communicating with the coaches, but also independently communicating with each position group. And how can I give them a small tidbit from my personal experience as well as my professional.
You've been part of some victorious locker rooms as part of this coaching staff before. Obviously, this is a little bit different. What was it like, especially with the role you had today?
I tried to not give a team ball today to talk about the collective effort. I really thought it was about us. Offense, defense, and special teams. And then right when I said there'd be no game ball, Coach Sean McVay says, "No, forget that game ball for Aubrey." Here with the Rams, we talk a lot about, the we is the greater than me. And I just wanted to reflect that in that situation. But again, it's just a nod to Coach McVay, what he thought about the opportunity that I was able to seize. And I'm very grateful.
It looked like Jared Verse and Joe Caniglio during that moment where the catch was not a catch, was right in front of you guys on the sideline. They were just checking to make sure you had your challenge flag ready, and you seemed to wave it up at McVay, up in the coaches. What was that like for you, and kind of feeling that energy on the sideline where you're in a serious moment, but you guys are all kind of playing with it?
Well, it's only right based off of the FUBU that he had last week. He kind of fumbled it. Did he tell you last week he was leaving and tells me, "Hey, you got the challenge flag"? And then he comes back and is like, "Hey, where's the flag?" I said, "You never gave it to me." No, it's just about being ready, right? Understanding what happened the week before you, understand how you're evaluated in your job, and wanting to present yourself in the best way manner. And I just wanted those guys to know if anything was happening, I'd be ready for it. Now, being ready, you still have a great staff that can help communicate with you to make the best decision, but it's up to you as a leader to be ready. And it's also up to you as a leader to be able to assign people who do very well in their job to be able to help you with that. And I think that's something that Sean has done exceptionally here, and I was able to just be basically take the fruits of that labor for today for myself, and I see why it's so valuable for Sean.
Was there anything that surprised you today that maybe you didn't expect would be the responsibility of a head coach?
No, there's nothing that really that surprised me. There's one opportunity I thought I could have been a little bit better with my situational master. There was a play. I think the offense was going to snap the ball, and they had an opportunity at the end of the half where they kind of could have let the clock bleed out. I could have used the timeout to save that for our offense for 2 minutes, but I kind of felt from my experience on offense that they were rushing to the ball a little faster than I assumed. So I was like, maybe they're not thinking what I am. Maybe they're just going to snap the ball regularly. And if that was a regular season game, I probably wouldn't have given them the opportunity for that. I probably would just use the timeout. As a coach, you should be coachable, and I'm already being critical of myself, and I think that's probably one thing I think I could do better.
You had two moments.
With all of the responsibilities that you have as a head coach, did a game feel like it was just flying by, one thing after another, or was it kind of manageable?
Well, one, I joked to one coach, today made me miss being on offense. It's a different form. It's a different style of coaching. It's a different form of headsets. But I would say the flow of the game definitely goes by much faster. Your attention is needed in different places. For those of you who've seen me be a position coach, my energy needed to be different today to lead a group of men. And I wanted to be able to give that for them. So just that energy-wise and those guys kind of going back and forth. The other thing is you talk a lot about the pendulum, how that thing swings back and forth between offense and defense and special teams. Having that headset, you really feel it. And you know how important it is maybe for some positive reinforcement after something that maybe is unforeseen.
Aubrey, you had two moments today specifically where some things happened that the players made mistakes. Stetson throws the interception in the end zone, and Josh Carty misses a kick. What was your response and kind of your process? Because we saw in the broadcast and then on the field, you went up to Josh immediately, and then working with the quarterback in that way after a mistake, and then working with a kicker after a mistake. What was your process like there?
Well, my experience being able to coach on offense, defense, and special teams at this level has really taught me the importance of player mental health. And the one thing that we do here is we talk a lot about modeling the way. And I'm really proud that Coach McVay was able to change the messenger, but I wasn't going to change the message. And I wanted them to know that when they came to the sideline, there would be no enemy over here. And those guys need that support at that time. And there's a difference between not taking full advantage of that opportunity and not being ready. And we were ready. But sometimes when things don't go your way, you can't always determine the consequences, but you can take care of those choices. And that's what I wanted to provide for those guys at that moment.
You talked about having the kind of missing the offense with the headset on. What was it like when the pendulum swung the other way with the 47-yard touchdown to J.J. Lapp? And that's a young man who went to a very small college and is really fighting for a job.
Yeah. Well, the thing that I really wanted to make important to all the players before they went to the field is how important this opportunity was for me. And I wanted to match that importance, which I knew it was for them. These guys work so hard to capitalize their opportunities when they get that moment, and that's a perfect example of that young man doing it. But also Stetson on time, putting it where he needs to be, and the offensive line who had a little fight and struggles here and there who were able to protect at the most important time.
Did you call that play?
Say that again?
Did you call that play?
No, I'd say one thing that we did today offensively is they allowed me to have my say. They allowed me to say what I thought, whether it was more run, more pass, or aggressive or not. But Sean was still on the headset, and so we did a good job collectively communicating. Good question.
We always see you coaching up your guys in your room when they come to the sidelines. How did you balance that usual responsibility with everything you were doing today?
Well, I believe when you have a vision, you should start with the end in mind. I knew that ultimately I'd love to stand at this podium and be able to help a team establish their goals. And by me knowing that, along the way, if I ever got an opportunity, I want to make sure that the guys that were underneath me were able to lead. And that's what I think all good coaches and all good leaders do, is that they help empower those that are underneath you, or maybe give them opportunities before they think they're ready when they are. So when it comes, they're able to go. And that's what we did today. Not only was I elevated in position, but there were two very important coaches that were under me that got elevated. And with that being said, I told the entire team that I was very thankful, and the coaching staff, because there are several other coaches on the staff that have just as, arguably good as resume as what you want to call it as I do. But to allow me to go and lead and then for them to follow and to give me their heart and soul, man, it meant everything to me today. And I'm very appreciative for the entire organization and the staff. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
And we got Stetson coming right in.
significantly more comfortable and efficient, were you, or how would you describe it?
I think so. I'm thinking about just individual plays where I don't like scoring 13 points, and I know it's preseason. I know but just specific plays where I missed on the first drive, or maybe it was the second drive, the little rollout, flat route to I can't remember who was running it. But I think overall the operation and the execution was better, yes.
What did you see on that long touchdown pass?
They went quarters, and, we'd been running the ball, so the safety kind of bit up, and J.J. was basically one-on-one out there on the corner because the safety had bit up, and so just put it up and made a good play.
Can you take us through?
I guess on Sunday you talked about kind of the roller coaster of the game.
Mm-hmm.
How did you prep yourself for this game? Is there anything you did differently after the last game?
No, I didn't do anything differently. Just kept things the same, because it's hard to, kind of judge what might need to be different on the first game, and so kept it the same. And just, playing in another game just kind of made you settle down a little bit more, I guess.
What allows you to compartmentalize mistakes that you make in the game sometimes, specifically the interceptions? This is the second week, obviously, that you dealt with that, but they've been able to bounce back and make a play.
I think, it really is just we got to do the next play. We got to do the next thing because that's what's best for the team. That's what's best for, me, for everybody else who's involved. You can't just really sit on the past. You got to go forward.
You talked about wanting to avoid the mental kind of mistakes that were in the first game. Were you able to do that today, and how?
Yeah, we had one. Made a check and I moved somebody over. Wasn't supposed to move him over because we were supposed to block the safety, and even though it was a weird look, but got that corrected and won't make that mistake again. I think when you don't play football for so long that you want it to be perfect, but you kind of gotta you gotta make those mistakes to learn from them, right? And as much as I don't want to do that, right, it is good that some things like that happen so you can learn from them.
Last week you had an opportunity to watch the film, obviously, after the game. What did you learn the most from watching the film?
That just if something doesn't feel right, it's probably not, and you don't have to force it. You don't have to make something happen that's not there. Throw it away, check it down, live to fight another play if that's an option.
Stetson, how much all these reps are helping you from the scrimmages or joint practices to the preseason game?
I think they're helping me immensely. You can't. It's hard to get better at football if you don't play football. So I think every single snap I'm grateful for and trying to do my best with it.
Can you describe the relationship with J.J. Lapp? He's a young man. You're playing in a monster program in Georgia. He's playing in a school that had it's nothing like that.
Yeah.
And for him to get behind the defense, he's done it in camp a couple of times. What's that mean for a young man like that?
Well, he was fired up. I think he spiked it. And he did that was that made me laugh. But he can roll, and I don't think it doesn't really matter where you're from if you can roll. And so we put him in those positions a few times, and he's executed, and so kind of build that trust with him whenever that situation comes up. You're like, well, maybe he's going to do it again, which he did today. So.
How does it feel to have an organization believe in you the way the Rams do?
I think it's first of all, first class organization. It means a lot, and not that that's the reason why you come in to work every day, but it does give you that little extra oomph whenever maybe you don't feel like it, maybe you're sore or just something happens, right? It's like, all right, well, you do have these people behind you, and they are encouraging you, and they do believe in you, and so it's it's very encouraging, and it helps give you that little extra ounce whenever you need it.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.